Hello guys, welcome back, and today we're going to be talking about demons and shinobis. So yeah, let's begin, shall we, ladies and gents? So we currently see Izuku and the rest of everybody, as in, Crimson Squad, well, not Sakura Squad, I meant Hanzo Squad, and also Gessen, and also Izuku's old team, aka Team A, and finally, and finally Izuku's dad, aka Kirya, as they're currently on the Apache helicopter. As he would ask, "Hey," as he would look towards. So, Jiro, I wanted to ask, where are the others? He would say, as she would look at him and would say, "Oh, the others. They're currently at the restaurant," she would say, as he would look at her and would say, "Restaurant?" As she would say, "Oh, yeah, that." They decided to just hang out there for a while. They are also staying at the nearby motel. As Izuku would look at her and would say, "So they're staying at a motel as well?" As she would say, "Yeah, we thought it would be much better for you to stay alone." She would say that with a somewhat, laughing tone, but at the same time a little bit, well, disappointed to say the least. While laughing a little bit, one of them would ask, specifically Yomi would ask, "So, you know him?" She would say, "Yeah, me and him used to work together. Well, not technically, though we're from different squads, we did work together sometimes, especially during missions. Since I'm not really good with fighting or using demons in combat, I usually act as support most of the time. I usually prefer to use my skills in hacking," she would say, or more specifically, reconnaissance. After hearing that, one of them would ask, "Wait, you specialize in reconnaissance?" Said a surprised Yagyu, as she would say, "You seem more the type of person to assassinate someone," she would say, uncharacteristically, as she would say, "Thanks, but sorry, but I'm not really built for that. In fact, I'm more of a shut-in," she would say, as after hearing that, one of them would say, being that of a Mirai, as she would say, "She sounds like that big tit monster," she would say, as after hearing that, she would say, "Big what?" After hearing that, she would say, "Oh, nothing. It's just some bad memories," she would say. She would say that with a pouting face, as Izuku would laugh, saying, "You sound like a, you sound like a, you actually sound like a child there," he would say. After saying that, Mirai would look at him and would say, "I'm not a child," she would say. And both of them would start fighting, which, to say the least, kind of pissed off Todoroki, which, if you don't know, is a girl in this story, as she would be pissing Izuku interacting with her. I wonder why. As we currently see Jiro, as she would look at well, the not so normal dog, aka Pascal, aka Nameless, as the dog would be barking, but also, enjoying the head scratches from Minori, as she's currently playing with it. Seeing this, she would ask, "Hey, you know what?" As he would say, "Well, apparently they experimented on that dog, fusing it with several demons, specifically that of I think it was Cerberus and probably other demons," he would say. As after hearing that, she would say, "I see." As when Jiro heard it, she would look towards the dog, as the dog would look at her back. As she would say, "God, that feels weird," she would say. As she would try to touch the dog, but the dog would bite her hand. Not enough to be hurting, but more like funny than anything else. As she would say, "Hey, get it off, get it off!" As while doing so, Minori would say, "Hey, don't hurt him," she would say. As she would say, like hell. As while saying this, they would finally arrive at the restaurant. As a few people would be surprised outside seeing a large like Apache helicopter nearly landing landing nearby, but everybody would slowly come out of there. And when they looked at the restaurant, yep, it was pretty fancy to say the least, which kinda pissed off a certain girl. As the girl Yomi would say, God dang it, why it had to be an expensive restaurant, she would say. As while saying this, the Izuku would say, Hey, don't sweat it. Besides, as he would look towards them and he would say, You don't really need to pay. Besides, as he would start going through his wallet, as you say, I'll probably pay for the meal this time. After hearing that, Homer would say, gladly, she would say, pretty happy that they can finally eat something that's not, you know, something else. So, after hearing that, Yomi would say, well, at least it's from you, she would say. As after saying that, she would also have a blush on her face. The girls over there would be pretty happy knowing that they're gonna get some, grub after this mission. And currently, we also see a knocked out Dogen on on a large, I guess you can say, containment unit. It's like a gigantic ass, cart, or more like, one of those like cargo ship containers. Imagine something like that, but it's completely encased in smooth metal that's completely like seamless, like almost has like a no like I guess you could say features that resembles that of like it opening up. As inside, we would currently see Dogen completely knocked out by a special demon-containing gas. As we would go back to the rest of the rest of the group as they go inside the restaurant, seeing that it's some sort of really high-quality restaurant to say the least. Imagine something like, from Persona 5. As in Persona 5, I mean the end of Kamoshida's palace, aka the bastard. Oh god. Honestly, should I make a what if about, Persona? Honestly, it was the first thing that I ever made as a what if. But if you do want me to make a what if about Persona, I would gladly do so, but it's your choice, I guess. So, after going inside, they would see the rest of the other team members. We could see a few of the other members of Jiro's team as they're currently eating some of the food there. And it seems to be a lot, mostly towards one plate. As a girl with dark hair and wearing a somewhat beautiful dress as she's currently eating some of the food. And I mean a lot of it. As she's currently eating almost nearly a lot, as one of them specifically that of a girl with dark skin and wearing, I guess you could say, urban style clothing, as she's currently saying, Hey Jiro, you should not Jiro, I meant, I meant, Hey, Momo, you should probably stop eating too much, she would say. As she would look up at her as she'd say, Excuse me? As she would say, Oh, not like that. But you should probably save enough food for the others. Especially since I got a text from Jiro that apparently she's coming here with the rest of the other guys. As after hearing that, one of them would say, cool. Said a man with a fedora, as he also has a large ass scar. Not only that, he also is wearing an eye patch. As after hearing that, Jiro would finally come up to them and would say, Hey guys, I'm here! As after hearing that, they would say, Jiro! As when they saw the large group nearby, they would say, Wait, Izuku? Said all of them surprised, as Jiro would say, Hey guys, so, we should probably make more room, she would say. As after saying that, they would see behind them and would see a lot more people, mostly women. As as Kaminari would say, "Dang!" He would say. As after saying that, he would say this to Izuku. As the man with blonde hair would say, "Hey, Izuku! Never thought that I would see you back here, and dang, I didn't know that you were such a ladies' man again." Actually, it's not really a surprise, since the back in the day, as before he can say anything else, a, the black-haired girl would smack him right in the, smack him right in the head, and she would say, "Please stop, doing that," she would say, as after saying this, the man known as Kaminari would just look at her and would say, "Hey, come on, it was just a joke," he would say. "Besides, I'm kinda telling the truth," he would say, as he would look towards Izuku, as he'd say, "Hey guy," as he would look at Izuku again and would say, "I got a lot of interesting photos back from home," he would say. "You want to see some of it?" he would say. As after hearing that, he would look towards the man known as Kaminari, would say, "Sure," he would say. As he would start to move, slowly moving towards, or at least, start moving towards the table. As the other girls would also sit right down next to some of their friends, or at least some of the other teammates. As while a bit of talking and bantering, one of the girls would say, as Asako would say, "Hey, mind telling us who you guys are?" As after hearing that, one of them would say, "Oh, forgot to introduce you." Said the dark-skinned one with pink hair. As she would say, "Yeah, say hello to Team B, also known as Battalion," she would say. As after hearing that, Asako would say, "Team Battalion?" she would say, confused. After hearing that, the girl with black hair would say, "Yes, and I'm the leader of this group. Call me Momoya Yurozu," she would say. After hearing that, everybody would be surprised, including that Akira, as would say, "Wait, as she would say, yeah." She would say that with the laugh. As she would say, the leader of or at least the heiress of the Yayorozu to the Yayorozu conglomerate. I meant conglomerate. As after saying this, Yomi would be furiously looking mad. Not really mad, but more like pissed. Hearing that there's. Remember, she does hate the rich. God damn it. As Izuku would look at her and would say, "Please calm down," he would say. And she would say, "Yeah, fine," she would say. As after hearing that, Kaminari would notice this and would say, He would start looking towards Izuku again with a smug face as he would say, "Kaminari, don't," he would say. As he would say, "Oh, come on, it's funny," he would say. And, and if you're wondering, he actually does have a girlfriend in this AU. But it's not Jiro. Oh boy. As well, after a bit of bantering, a few of the members would also see that Izuku it seems to be a lot more talkative talking to them. As one of them would ask, specifically that of the dark skinned girl would say, "Hey, mind telling us who are you, old man?" she would say. After hearing that, Kiryu would say, "Old man? I mean, I'm not that old, right?" As he would look towards the girls, as the girls would say, "I mean, both, most of team, most of Team Hanzo would say that with a skeptic tone, as Kiryu would feel like his pride was broken, was shattered. As after hearing that, he would say, specifically that of Izuku, "Well, that's my dad," he would say. After hearing that, the girl known as Momo would say, "Wait, that's your dad?" she would say. As one of them would say, specifically that of Kaminari, "Wait, your dad?" As in, "Oh god, that is definitely going to be an awkward conversation," he would say. as you would say, an awkward conversation. But before he can say anything else, they would see Izuku's uncle and grandfather walk into the restaurant and would be dead silent seeing Kiria. And so we'll be ending off this episode right off here. So yeah, bye bye!